Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining me today for this webinar. My name is Lee, and I am the Business Development Manager here at Argentum. Today, I will briefly mention the 5 new missions of Horizon Europe, and I will be focusing on adaptation to climate change and restoring our ocean, seas, and water. Before I start, allow me to give you a very brief introduction to our company. Argentum specializes in EU research and innovation funding. The company was established in 1999 and since then has had vast experience and gained expertise in obtaining governmental funding for innovative technology and research and development. We have 30 employees divided into 3 departments: strategy, business development, and a consulting and writing team. Our vision is to target innovative funding opportunities and to enhance participation and success in multinational research and innovation projects. Argentum is aligned with the EU Commission's goals and works closely with NCPs in order to deepen the understanding of EU directives, guidelines, and value chains. It is Argentum's objective to become the leading expert in cooperation between overlapping technological sectors in the EU. The EU's budget for the years 2021 to 2027 is 1.21 trillion euros, and you can see how it is distributed in the donut chart on this slide. 12% for single market innovation and digital, 36% cohesion, resilience and values, 33% natural resource and environment, 10% for other programs, and 9% for neighborhood and the world. The first stage of funding is choosing the call proposal. When a company chooses a grant for submission, they should consider the following criteria. The field. Bottom up is a call that's open to all fields of technology, whereas top down would be a specific call that's aligned with the EU's agenda. They should also consider the type of funding mechanism, the European one, supported by the EU, like Horizon Europe, bilateral, for example, a technological collaboration between 2 countries, or a national funding incentive. They should consider the type of application procedure as well, whether the submission is as a single applicant or as part of a collaborative project, a consortium. The choice should be made according to the company's needs and strategy, and while considering the success rate of each opportunity. The European Commission recently announced how it will allocate the first 673 million euros on 19 research calls to fulfill 5 Horizon Europe missions in health, climate, and environment. It is part of the Horizon Europe programme that promotes European collaboration and creation of partnerships between SMEs and research institutes through consortia around one topic of research. As I mentioned earlier, I will be focusing on climate change and oceans and seas. I will first explain each topic and go into detail about some calls from different funding sources, not only Horizon Europe, to show you how we at Argentum work in understanding your specific needs and help you target the right calls to finance your developing projects. Adaptation to climate change. The Commission wants to support at least 150 European regions and localities to become climate resilient by 2030. There are 110 million euros in new funding to develop a common climate change risk assessment framework, large-scale demonstrator projects, improving asset-level modelling of climate risks and involving citizens with the mission. There is a focus on coordinating the portfolio of innovations and identifying remaining gaps. The mission intends to support Europe's path to adaptation, to adapt to the unavoidable impacts of climate change and become climate resilient by 2050. 8 projects are to be funded from this call, from 1 million to 12 million euros each. This call has a total budget of 20 million euros. The costs are totally covered by the call and should finance only one project. The particularity of this call is that it has 2 faces. It should address 2 distinctive actions. The first action, development and beta testing of the climate risk and vulnerability assessment framework tool. It means preparing and planning for climate resilience and the need for a better understanding of climate change related risks and their interactions with other types of risks. The second action, using the climate risk assessment framework tool in regions and communities to conduct climate risks, vulnerabilities, and impact assessments as a basis for development or revision of local emergency and risk management plans. It means the proposal should provide direct financial support in the form of grants to at least 50 regions and communities in conducting multi-hazard or risk assessment profiles, or upgrading and refining existing ones. We would suggest this call to various types of companies. For example, a company that targets sustainability using Earth data exploitation, or a company that wants to build partnerships with regional entities. This mission targets to identify data gaps, how to overcome them in the future, and demonstrate the innovation behind the model. The funding is 100% of eligible costs. We would suggest this call to a company or research institute that has projects at early stages of development because it is very research oriented. We would advise the company or research institute to determine if they want to build or join a consortium in order to apply for this call, and if the timeline enables the submission of such a proposal. I would definitely advise a company that is data-oriented to apply to this particular call. The added value would lie in the exploitation of the data and how to build an innovative model. In addition, a company that is working in the Earth observation field would be relevant because they would identify and analyze the infrastructure. I will now present a project that was part of the EU Green Deal and submitted by Argentum last year. Its objective was the creation of an ocean digital twin. The idea is to replicate in digital what you have in the ocean, the noise and biodiversity, in order to get a greener, more digitalized world. We have designed a collaborative project called Adaptation, which plans to bridge the information gap related to oceans, seas, coastal areas, and estuaries literacy and preservation by empowering the everyday users of the ocean in data collection towards new ocean observations. To provide the fullest digital twin of the ocean, Datum enables seamless integration of existing data from ocean observatories, previous data collection projects, and remote sensing projects powered by multiple SMEs and research institutions who have taken part in the project. These include new types of in situ sensor platforms in the form of surface drifters, a swarm of submerged drifters, novel sensors for sensing microplastics, a passive collector of environmental DNA samples, aquafarm sensor platforms, coastal autonomous surface vessels, and a set of underwater vehicles powered by enhanced geopositioning capabilities. Restoring our oceans, seas, and water. The mission intends to provide a systematic approach for the restoration, protection, and preservation of our ocean, seas, and water. It aims to protect and restore marine and freshwater ecosystems and biodiversity, to prevent and eliminate pollution, and make the sustainable blue economy carbon neutral and circular. 18 projects are to be funded from 1 million to 9 million euros each. This call is in line with the EU Zero Pollution Action Plan for air, water, and soil. Proposals should demonstrate scalable breakthrough innovations, technological, business, social, and governance, to prevent and minimize marine and freshwater pollution from litter, plastics, and microplastics. The objective of this opportunity is to demonstrate replicable solutions to prevent and minimize pollution in the Mediterranean Sea. It covers 70% of eligible costs and targets an advanced project that already has a technology validated in laboratories and aims to be validated and demonstrated in a relevant environment, or to develop a first prototype in an operational environment. This call will finance 2 projects and targets a project that is not research-centered, but one that already has technology validated in laboratories. Budget per project is expected to be 8 million euros and achieve a TRL level of advancement between 5 to 7. The aim is to improve protection of local communities and ecosystems from extreme events, such as floods, droughts, and storms, in the Danube River Basin and its delta, in particular with nature-based solutions. This call promotes support for the scaling up of ecosystem and biodiversity restoration in the associated regions with the Danube River Basin and the Black Sea. Another outcome is to increase local revenue and business activities from the restored ecosystems in the overall local economic activities. In addition to the Horizon calls, The multi-submission strategy invites you to target calls that are from different sources. We identify 3 main funding sources at European level, bilateral, and national. Our consultants use the diversity of funding sources to propose a panel of calls. In the matter of sustainability, for example, you can apply as a consortium for PRIMA calls that are food, water, and energy related, or to Eureka with an expected success rate of 30%. Our team has also developed expertise in these calls for consortium because they can offer you opportunities to develop partnerships, expand your scope of activity, or experiment your project. If partnerships are not in your current perspective, we also propose a large choice of single applications where you can focus on your own projects and developments. It is highly important to understand the value beyond funding. Participation in such a project will enhance your company's ecosystem with significant partnerships across Europe. Our team has also developed expertise in these calls for consortium because they can offer you opportunities to develop your R&D and expand your scope of activity and project. This consortium was built efficiently using Argentum's certified methodology. First, we target a project that you want to focus on, and we find relevant calls to finance it. Then we work on the conceptualization. Together, we identify the needs, which expertise, and which role in the value chain could help your project to develop or expand. We look at whether or not you need to improve the R&D, or are you looking for a pilot site or a distributor? We map the relevant missing expertise together. Then we contact your partners and our valuable network and proceed to a passive and an active publication to find the entities that fit the requirements we previously identified. We also promote your added value as a partner, so you can join multiple consortia that are in line with your expectations. And finally, we build a collaborative project with all the partners, and together we define the task and work packages, and our team of consultants start writing the proposal. As to our proposition, we know that the abundance of funding opportunities out there can become challenging to navigate because of the complexity that is part of the submission process, in addition to the many details and guidelines that every funding opportunity entails. We have developed a unique method to increase our clients' access to funding while minimizing their efforts. We call this our multi-submission approach, which in a nutshell says, submit to one, submit to all. By following this method of submission, our strategists and consultants are able to get a firmer grasp on the activity of your company, especially your technology. This allows us to write better submission proposals because we gain more depth of knowledge. Moreover, as a submitting company applying to various opportunities, you will have less to work with, be it financially or in terms of manpower, because we will work with your technology and tailor it to fit multiple proposal calls. Lastly, This method immensely raises your chances of winning a grant. From a strategic point of view, our work summarizes as follows. As a client at Argentum, we ensure you get a personalized service with regular meetings throughout the year. The initial step starts with a kick-off meeting in order to discover the assets and develop projects for your company. With all this information, our consultants will suggest to you the open calls that you can target throughout the year according to your priorities and timelines. Once you have decided which calls you want to apply for, we will set a schedule together for the year to come and will transfer you to our professional team who will write the proposals. They will need your responsiveness in order to receive all the materials needed and to submit on time. This process is in constant evolution, growing with your projects and your developments, and also regarding the launch of new promising calls. Our role is to guide you throughout the submission process and maximize your chances of funding success. It is important to point out that the process is always adaptable, and as a long-term client, we are always on the lookout for new publications that are a suitable match to your company's strategy. Later on, our marketing team will send out a follow-up email with a link to book a call. Please feel free to book a one-on-one meeting via the link. I look forward to hearing from you and thank you for your time today.